it's a couple birthdays.
Yeah.
The most important birthday was on Friday. Our very own Aaron Reynolds had a birthday.
Oh yeah, my
Happy
birthday. I
birthday.
completely forgot about that.
Happy birthday, Aaron.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, 34?
34. Yep.
34. Nice. And then we had the Dreamcast and the PS1 turned 30 in the United States.
What days were those?
The 9th. They were both the 9th, actually. September 9th.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
September 9th, 1995 and September 9th, 1999.
Like
9999 for
99.
Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a PS1 for about a month or two at one point. My mom played Harvest Moon on it.
Okay. By only a month or two.
And, the Dreamcast was my very first console.
This explains so much now. This explains. There was so much weird shit on it. Duncan, were you a Seaman kid? Were you playing with Seaman?
Yeah, my dad had Seaman because he liked Leonard Nimoy.
This checks out. Every bit of this story checks out.
All right.
Yeah. Though I'll say it wasn't my first console. That one was my dad's, right?
No,
like
that is
Dreamcast. My first console was an Xbox. I was 5 years old and I did the ABCs for the Xbox.
This is so weirdly similar to mine. It's up to the last bit there. Because we had a PS1 in the house. It was my dad's. So like I really only played a handful of games on it. Like I played the Crash games. I played Metal Gear, and like that was kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then my first console that I had personally though was an N64 at like age 6. I got it for Christmas. And then so the PS1 is, of those two, is obviously the more important historically.
Right.
It's like, you want to talk about video games going Hollywood, it was PS1.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you go look at games like Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid, it was like, oh, these are games for straight up grown-ups. You know, like these are for the adults. And I think that, 3D, it's getting cinema, it's hitting mainstream, it's at the time it did twice as well as its next competitor, and then just literally every company in the world wanted to make games for that fucking thing. Like you look at Japan, America, Europe, they were all like, I think the PS1 is the console that has the most games on it still. Like it's,
that makes sense. I think last time we talked about this, I believe that was the case.
I stand corrected. It has been surpassed by the Switch 1.
Oh.
And the PS2. So PS1 is in third. I'm sorry. So
the Switch has exceeding 5,000 titles.
Yeah. So there you go.
A lot.
PS2. Wait. Oh, okay. Then that's weird. The original PlayStation has just under 8,000. Oh, it must be just counting North America in the thing I looked up on Google. Okay. So if you count the world and region lock games, then it's PS1. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Anyway, so yeah, and it was kind of a perfect storm for Sony, because I do want to stress that the PS1 was not a foregone conclusion to be successful. You had seen a lot of electronic companies come in and try and make game consoles and fail miserably. Panasonic with the CDI, EA with the 3DO, like just a lot of companies coming into space. Apple with the Pippin. Just like companies coming in and just getting their face kicked in by Sega and Nintendo. And that's kind of what people expected out of Sony. They kind of thought, oh, this thing's going to come in, it's going to be technically cool, and then die. And it didn't. It did wildly successful because they made all the right moves. They went to developers and said, hey, we're going to have a lower licensing fee. Hey, we're on CDs, not cartridges, so you can just print as many of these damn things as you want easily. We can get them shipped out to you. It was doing 3D. It was a lot easier to develop for than the Saturn or the 64. It was cheaper than the Saturn initially. They just kind of made all the right moves, and then Nintendo, with the immense amount of hubris, fucked up. And then Sega was kind of fighting its own internal battles between North America and US and doing all this shit that PlayStation, everyone just made games for PlayStation. You know, like the N64 library is like, I think globally 300 games, right? Like if someone wants to fact check me on that, please do. But it's like globally like 300, 400 games. The Saturn is in a similar case. You know, I think the Saturn is is at 1,000. So you're looking at, you know, the PS1, 8,000. Granted, I'm not sure how many of those are just Japanese mahjong games, but still.
Right.
You know, like, and it just became a cultural force, and it kind of set up the blueprint for a lot of future stuff. Like, okay, optical media, you know, like we're going to give third parties a lot more breathing room. We're going to help fund third parties a little bit. Like that, there was a lot of smart shit they did. And then just being out a year earlier than the 64 also helped a lot. So no, it was a cool device at the time. I think that, you know, and then a lot of franchises that we love today, or either got popular and went mainstream on that thing, or are still going. You know, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil. You know, you can make an argument that, you know, Street Fighter Alpha is kind of the root of where Street Fighter is today in a lot of ways. In terms of gameplay, that thing had a lot of cool stuff going on for it, and played CDs, man. Have you heard about these music CD things?
I had heard about these things called CDs. This is when the first of a few times Sony created a machine that could play other media that made it very useful to have beyond video games.
Yeah, this is the first time where they did that 4 times out of 5 PlayStations. I guess technically, if you count UMD on PSP, it'd be 5 times out of 6.
CD,
but
DVD, Blu-ray,
UMD, and 4K Blu-ray.
4K Blu-ray.
Yep. So
it's fantastic. What a fantastic machine. I remember my brother's PlayStation. I didn't play too much. I checked out a little bit of Spyro, and then I played Cool Borders when I could. And I remember we had to duct tape the wires to the top of the PlayStation, or else it wouldn't work. I don't understand how that worked, but that's just what happened. But it was a cool thing.
Ours would overheat. So what our fan was, prop up the disc tray a little bit and point a house fan at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would find out on the internet when I was like 15, and that thing was long in my rear view mirror, especially because I had a PS2 that could play PS1 games. If you just flip it upside down, the heat comes out of the vents better.
That's okay.
So
yeah, I'm gonna throw some footage.
You know, gotta hand it to consoles today. They at least work most of the time.
They work most of the time, but they also have a lot of conceits that those old ones didn't. Where like PS1, I put in, you know, I put in disc and it plays. I don't have to install. I don't have to.
Well, okay.
I don't have to fucking.
Caveat: you put in disc, it doesn't always play. Sometimes it does some weird shit, and then you have to turn it upside down.
The disc would play. It just the system would overheat. But then you just flip the system upside down and hit the reset button. You're good to go. But
I'll take the disc out first, because if you're moving it while the disc is in there, then it'll scratch the disc, and the disc won't play.
Well, the PS1 didn't have like drives like we have now that do that. It had the spindle because it was a top loader, so you actually move the disc and it's fine. Fun fact. At least I never had issues with it. But also, like, even then, you turn it off, turn it on when you're moving it.
Certainly there's problems in the modern consumer experience. I just think, you know, we've definitely had some improvements. If we think about it, this actually has been a bit of progress.
So there has been a lot of progress, but also a lot of accident, in particular consoles, like in my mind, because okay, let's say you have working PS1, which is kind of most of them, but yeah, you make sure every memory and you put the disc you play. Versus like I still buy my PlayStation games on a disc, right? I get all, I have to install the whole thing. I have to typically download a 40 gig day one patch, and then I load up the game, and traditionally it's significantly less, finished than games were back in the day. I think that
but this isn't because of consoles though. This is just a consumer software problem. All consoles are universally experiencing this issue. Like you can't go on Switch and not have this problem, and then go on PlayStation and have this problem. It's every PC everywhere is going to have this issue. Whereas before, a lot of the issues were specific to consoles. It was about the quality of a console that would determine, the things about it, right? Xbox was different from PlayStation, was different from Nintendo, because they were all a product that had quality.
Yes, and I think that is part of the problem with the industry now, where you have, this just everything is going to becoming a closed system PC when it comes to console, except for the Switch, which is kind of I Nintendo fighting the good fight for the most part, but like even then, it's like the PS5 is effectively a computer at this point that is a closed system.
Right,
that's all that it is.
I mean, we have an expectation of complete perfect performance from our consoles now. Like they need to work correctly, or else they will lose to the other one, because the other one does work correctly. You're not making a little sacrifice. Whereas like when I got my Xbox, I put ice packs on it to make it work. I never had to do anything like that with the PS2 or my original Xbox or my GameCube. That might be the most durable generation I've ever had. I actually currently have a problem with my living room PS5, where the PS5, if you did not know this, does not automatically output video to whatever device it's hooked to. It checks to see if there is something it can output video to, and otherwise it will just have a black screen. And for some reason, it does not always like to detect my TV is there unless I turn my TV on second. And like it even then takes it a second. This is only the living room one too. The office one is fine. And I've tried other consoles on that TV in the living room, and they boot straight to the channel. So there's literally something with the way the PS5 is doing its handshake with the television, it'll get fucked up doing this, and it's very fucking obnoxious. I realize that if this is not a common scenario, I've looked on Reddit, so a handful of people have had this issue. But yes, yeah, it's and consoles today do have some quirks. Like I find setting up the HDR to be correct on the Switch 2 is not great. I find that the Xbox is just kind of has a big problem of its 4K Blu-ray player is trash. Yeah, but it's just but the league of problems is so different than it used to be.
Yes,
no one is selling a peripheral fan for the Xbox One X.
Give it time. No. Like I've seen those, but no one buys them. It's not like the 360, which was imploding on itself every 2 seconds. I think that there was more simplicity back then, but we had there was less to worry about. It was you didn't have to hook to the internet. You didn't have to worry about installing the game because the storage media was way too slow. You know, like that.
You just put the thing in and it did it.
And it did it because the disc read was still a reasonable time for the file sizes, or the cartridge was practically instant.
The game is on the disc. Your problem is your console acting silly, right? Like, because it's a piece of hardware that kind of doesn't do what it's supposed to do sometimes, because technology was kind of worse. Now the technology is so much better, and the problem is the game not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, like the problem I see more often than not, and I typically don't run into this in terms of Sony first party or developers who have a good track record like Capcom, is like, oh, this game was obviously rushed out the door. Like we talked about Borderlands 4 in the pre-show, and the number one thing I keep hearing is like, yeah, it runs like shit on everything except the most highest end computers. And it's
even
just
that.
like,
I heard even the highest end computers. They did apparently have a performance patch today, which improved its performance by 70% for some people.
Jesus, this explains how I was wondering how this game is getting a Switch 2 port, because on Steam Deck it runs like 15 FPS.
Yeah. So apparently that performance patch was super important. There was also a day one mod that was released that improved performance by 30%.
See, that nowadays I do think it is a big rush thing, but yeah, but yeah, the PS1 was real cool. I actually think the Dreamcast might be one of the coolest consoles of all time. Speaking of it, it just died it died in 18 months because of 5 years of bad decisions by Sega. Like the Dreamcast was a console that had a lot of cool games, a lot of cool stuff that you could only play on it. It had arcade perfect ports of stuff like Marvel's Capcom. The problem with the Dreamcast is the Sega Saturn and the Sega CD and the Sega 32X, those two add-ons for the Genesis and the Saturn, kind of created this very negative opinion of Sega. And then on top of that, Bernie Stoller basically burned everyone in the US who bought a Saturn by saying the Saturn isn't our future when it still had 2 years of life left to sport.
Eesh. Ow.
Yeah. So all of that happened, and they put out the Dreamcast. They put out the Dreamcast at a great price too. It's $200. It's very powerful. It's ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. Like it has like VGA support to hook up to monitors. You could hook it up to the internet. You play Phantasy Star Online and Quake Online and all these other online games. It was really cool. The problem, though, is one, very few people had faith in Sega anymore because of everything with the Saturn and everything with the CD. And then on top of that, the PS2 was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And people loved the PS1 to death, proven by the fact that it was the best-selling console of all time during its time frame, and also the fact that it sold 3 times as much as its nearest competitor. It was a juggernaut, and it caused people to be rabid for the PS2, especially when they found out it had a DVD player built into it.
Right.
So those things all together caused people to just... It did not matter that the Sega Dreamcast had an amazing library in the first 18 months. Might be the strongest first 18 months of library for a console of all time. It did not matter.
The consumer condition was not set up for them.
Yes, it did not matter that it was cheaper. It was $100 cheaper. It did not matter that they were doing amazing deals where if you signed up for a year of SegaNet, you would get a free Dreamcast. None of that shit mattered. The biggest thing that matters is EA Sports did not support the Dreamcast. Sega's response was this, to go make their own sports games that actually were better than what EA was making, but the general public didn't give a shit because they liked Madden.
Right.
So it was this thing where it was an example of the only thing they could have done real better with the Dreamcast is put a DVD player in it. Mm-hmm. It came out too soon to do that.
Also, the Dreamcast had a lot more like physical problems. Like they were more prone to breaking than PlayStations at the time.
I did not
I have no recollection. I was barely born.
I had no recollection of Dreamcast hardware issues, present or there. I know PS1 had the disc. PS2 had disc read errors in like the first 2 batches. My PS2 is a near launch unit, and it makes a grinding noise when I put up the disc tray.
Nice. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, no. Every time I go to play a PS2 game, I'm like, oof. It's just why a lot of the time I play on the emulator now. But yeah, so I think the Dreamcast is a perfect example of the only thing that they didn't do right was include a DVD player, but because they couldn't due to its release date, did not matter because of the PS2 and how much of a juggernaut it was and how much bad will they had. It was just a foregone conclusion that death. Shame. And like I said, if you want to talk, if Dreamcast lives, we are in a world with sick ass pick up and play arcade games.
You'd like to think so, right? You know,
a lot of dope local multiplayer games.
Ooh,
do you want to play some Power Stone, dog? Let's play Power Stone. Let's play Sega Bass Fishing.
Just the style of Sega games. If that carried on and was like more mainstream, that'd be really.
Jet Set Radio Future, Crazy Taxi.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck yes.
Fantastic.
Scamming
the only
people.
game I remember from the Dreamcast was Sonic. So.
Yep.
Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 were dope. Sonic Adventure 1.
Well, were they?
You know.
Okay, yes.
Look.
Okay,
I love those games. I love them deeply. Were they?
Okay, so Sonic Adventure 1 was cool at the time. Like, that whale sequence was mind-blowing. And that snowboarding sequence. But yeah, the rest of the game doesn't hold up.
No.
Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic levels hold up at least.
Yeah, I think Sonic Adventure 2 is
a third of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 has got some sauce. But
I don't like mech sections, and I don't like Knuckles or Rouge sections.
Yes.
I like
the Sonic levels are great though. And so is Shadow.
I like the Sonic and Shadow levels, and I like the mech levels. I don't care for Knuckles levels.
Yeah, I don't care much for the mech levels, but it is what it is. It's fine. I still enjoy them.
Oh yeah, like the Dreamcast had the first game from the Project Gotham Racing guys. That was on that system. I think it was like God, what was the name of that series? Whatever. But yeah, it had cool RPGs, Skies of Arcadia. That was very neat. If you're a Fatal Fury person, there you go.
Dreamcast is nuts.
Yeah, there you go.
Fatal Fury.
CVS 2. What video? Where is this video from?
Yeah, I was waiting for a chance. I'm taking this from Virtual Gaming Library on YouTube. They have videos showing little clips of every game from PlayStation and Dreamcast, and I assume they have many others. So go check them out. They're doing some good work here, just showing the many kinds of games that came out, and most of them you're never gonna see or talk about again. But yeah.
Nowadays, you can buy a modded Dreamcast nowadays with HDMI out. That has where you can get a storage cart added to it.
Okay.
Where the storage cart has almost every game you could think of built into it.
Oh, that's great.
So if you wanna go spend a little bit of money to experience the full Dreamcast, you can. Yeah, it was a fucking magical system. Oh yeah, Ikaruga. Sorry, this isn't Ikaruga, but it made me think of Ikaruga. I was like, Ikaruga was a Dreamcast game. Ikaruga was a Dreamcast game, and there was just a lot of sick Japanese arcade games that just never fucking went elsewhere.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Grand Theft Auto 2. Here's some history for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot that got part of Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur was Dreamcast.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. That was a Dreamcast launch title.
I know. I did play that. I did play Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast for sure.
Yeah. That's a good thing. But yeah, that's birthdays. Happy birthday to PlayStation and to Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Two very important parts of gaming history.
Yep.
And does everyone know the story of the PS1, how that shit got made?
Yeah.
Yeah,
with the whole deal, the fallout, and
Nintendo and all that.
Nintendo PlayStation existing for a moment.
Yep. Probably the biggest Nintendo screw up.
There you go.
There's great video essays on it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a show.
I think that is a show.
That sounds like a show.
We are on YouTube. We are on your favorite podcast app. We are on social media if you want to reach us there. We are on Discord if you want to come hang with us there. We're talking video games. We're putting out edited video game videos on our main channel when we get those out. We have our podcast channel, which is where this video is going to be hosted. And you're going to see more coming from us soon. So be on the lookout. All right? Promise? Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yay.
we're going to go. We're going to go play video games. I don't know about you.
Bye. We love you. I'm going to play Death Stranding and wow.
I hope you start liking that game.
I did too, dog.
All right.
I'm just going to go read Chinese slop. I'm not even going to be playing video games.
Slop.
I need more Chinese slop in me.
Let's go eat slop.
Sloppy.
Bye.
Yeah. I was actually at my girlfriend has never been to Olive Garden until this past Friday. And we went, she wanted to check it out. And I was like, because she's never been. And so we went to Olive Garden, especially because they had never ending pasta. And I was joking, like, just a never ending pasta. As much as you can eat. And then I was just like, man, in the future, they're just gonna have a pasta trough.
Yeah.
Everyone goes up to the pasta.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And if you don't subscribe, I will eat the pasta from the trough until I die, which will be fast because I can't eat pasta.
Pasta trough.
Yeah, it's cheesy pasta, Alfredo.
Ooh. Okay.
I can't take it. I need you to subscribe.
Yep. Very much so. I'm gonna go to the pasta trough.
The pasta trough.
Bye.
Yeah.